Hello and welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm Mary Trimble with your readings for May the 7th through May the 13th. Excuse me, I'm very hot and I can't put my AC on because it's too loud. It would just make too much noise. So I'm going to just have to be hot. Listen, if you're new to my readings, welcome. I really hope that you stick around to the end because I've got a very special gift for everyone at the end. It's kind of cool, so stick around to the end. This is a general reading, guys. Oh, and also, sorry, I'm so sorry. If you're returning, I love you. Thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing if you haven't already. This is a general reading, guys, so take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Keep it moving. If it's not for you this week, if, you know, maybe part of the reading will resonate with you and some of it won't. Take what you can and leave the rest, and please come back and check out, because maybe the reading will be for you next time. You know, listen, I am on Instant Go, and the link is below. You can ask me questions 24 hours a day, darling. I'm there. So check me out on Instago. It's a fabulous app. I think a lot of YouTubers have it. You can just download the app for free from the App Store. And I don't know if Android has it yet, but I know they will soon if they don't. This is for your sun, moon and rising. If you know your moon and rising, that information will be below. I'm also on Patreon. I have a Patreon page and there's links to that below. Check that out. You know, I do all kinds of posts there just for patrons. It's, you know, it's interesting. Anyway, without further ado, let me go into the astrological report for this week. And Mercury on the 6th and 7th, so you'll probably feel it on Sunday. I'm just recording this on Friday night, actually. It is right now. So the 6th and the 7th, you'll feel it on the 6th, but I think it moves in on the 7th. Mercury moves into a challenging aspect to Pluto. This is about power control, right? Because Mercury is the planet of intellect, of the mind, thinking, communication, and Pluto is the planet of deep spirituality and the underworld, things coming up. So we might, this is about power and control, so we might have some issues. It's just for a couple of days. It's not a very long transit, so we might have some issues in relationships for those couple of days. So, you know, it's going to be, it could be a power battle. And then at the same time, Venus challenges Neptune. Venus, the planet of love and finances, and Neptune, you know, dreamy, ethereal, and, you know, also spiritual, but can be deceitful. So we might have some challenges financially there. Now on the 12th, Mercury is connecting with Uranus. Now, Mercury, as I said before, it's the planet of communication, of the mental realm, of intellect. And Uranus is the planet of sudden happenings, surprises, sometimes shocking, you know, events happening out of the blue. It's a rebel planet. So this could mean that we can have some issues communicating with people. We might say things, blurt things out without thinking. So it's really a good idea to be aware of that and try to breathe before, you know, before you say it. Don't go straight from thought to mouth, you know. It's going to be challenging. Now on the 13th, Mercury moves into Taurus, which is a much better place for Mercury, and it's more grounded and more, you know, slower and more deliberate. Excuse me. Now, I know we finish right, on the 13th, but I have to mention the new moon, because although I'll go into more depth next week, but the new moon in Taurus, right, is like so much is happening around the same time. That's why I really want to mention this. So the new moon moves into Taurus. Now, the moon is in its exaltation in Taurus. It loves Taurus. It's nurturing. It's time to, whatever seeds we've planted, it's time to nurture them and allow them to grow. This is a beautiful, beautiful new moon. It's gorgeous. Now, around the same time, or the day after, Uranus moves into Taurus. Now, this is huge. Uranus has like 84-year elliptical cycle, right? And during those 84 years, it goes into each sign. So it's approximately in each sign for 7 years. So it's been in Aries and it's going into Taurus. Now, Uranus is that sudden happenings, it's revolutionary, it's eruptions, it's lightning, right? That's what it is. And Taurus is grounded, so it's not going to be that happy in Taurus. Or, it means that, because Taurus is about the planet, about Earth, something major could happen globally during that time. So it's been in Aries, which is a cardinal sign. It really liked being in Aries, right? It could start things. It could, erupt and sudden changes. And it's been difficult for people with this, with Uranus in Aries. However, now it's going into Taurus. And it's not so happy in Taurus because it's more grounded and it's pulled down, right? So this is about ground. This is about global. This is about the planet. Now, it hasn't, the last time it moved into Taurus, it was in Taurus from 1934 to 1941. Turbulent times, right? This could be, something huge could happen mid-month, or the next few years, something major is happening. Now, Mars is moving around the same time too. Mars is moving out of Capricorn and it moves into Aquarius. Now, Mars has loved Capricorn. It's really enjoyed Capricorn, right? It's been able to start things and finish things, right? Now, Mars is the planet of war, don't forget. And the spark, it starts things, right? It's about action, it's about going forward, but normally it can't finish things, but in Capricorn it could. Well, now it's moving into Aquarius. Darling, it's like, it's going to be all over the place. It's not going to be happy in Aquarius. So, Aquarius is air and Mars is fire, and there could be explosions and eruptions. So be prepared. Normally I wouldn't mention, I'll go into more detail about them, about those aspects next week, because really it is in next week, but I couldn't not mention it because I think we should be prepared for this huge shift in energy. It's major. It's going to be major. Good for some always, and not good for others. So without further ado, let's go to your card, shall we? Hello, Virgo, and welcome to your reading for May the 7th through May the 13th. And the first card out for you is the Temperance card. This card really represents balance, right? It represents balance in a way that you balance yourself spiritually, you balance yourself emotionally, physically. This is keep everything in balance, everything in moderation. So, if you find yourself thinking negatively, bring it back and balance that out psychologically, physically. If you're tending to, you can be over exercising, you can be watching the television too much, you could be drinking too much, eating too much. This is really asking you to bring balance into your life in every area. And it's very important this week. And clarifying this, it's interesting, right? The clarifying it is the 8 of Earth. And the 8 of Earth is about I always think eights as balance, actually, too, because if you think of the two circles in eight, and they're precariously balanced on top of each other, right? So, and also it's the infinity sign. You see, it's that wonderful shape, that infinity shape. It doesn't end and it doesn't begin. This is known as the apprentice card. The apprentice card. Oh my God, I can't even say it. Apprentice card. I really just had a quick cup of coffee, slapped some makeup on, put a couple of flowers in my hair and came on camera, so I'm a little doolally. Of course, I did meditate too. So this is, what I'm getting is really this is about really looking at the details and seeing where your life is out of balance. What is out of balance for you? Are you out of balance emotionally? Are you balancing your emotions? You know, tempering your emotions, because oh my God, especially this week, because of what's going on astrologically, we need to temper our emotions, because we're going to have this urge to, you know, we're going to say things without thinking. We might react without thinking. It's just, you know, temper your emotions. That's exactly what I'm getting this week. Okay, Temperance and the Eight of Earth. Now the next cards up for you is the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is really about being a little disillusioned with your life, not kind of happy with the way it's going. It's just that feeling of wanting something more, something deeper, something more meaningful. This is like searching spiritually. It's like, you know, searching. Sometimes I say, look, it's like get with your tribe. Go get with people that are like-minded. Sometimes in this, look, there are all these cups here. He's got all this wealth and he's ready to just walk away from it all for something much more meaningful in life, a spiritual path. This is someone seeking a spiritual path, right? So maybe you're feeling that. Maybe you're feeling that, you know, maybe your relationship doesn't have the meaning or connection that you desire right now. Maybe, you know, your job doesn't fulfill you and doesn't satisfy that, what's that, you know, that drive within you. You're just unhappy with how things are. It's not like a depressed things, it's just dissatisfied, right? Now clarifying it is the King of Earth, and this is a wonderful, incredible, creative, this is a time, look, I'm getting this very strongly. Okay, so if you're feeling like this, because this is a general reading, guys, so some of you are feeling this way, right? The King of Earth is coming in because he's creative. He's a hard worker. He loves, this is about abundance, right? He loves luxury and opulence, but whatever he has around him, he's worked really hard for. You know, you can find him with his sleeves rolled up and his hands in the dirt, and he creates this wealth. So what I'm getting for you, because this is a wonderful, fertile time to get creative. And when you're being creative, right, you are channeling the divine. You are so connected when you're doing something creative, either artistically. Look, this is an art. What I'm doing is art. Sometimes I don't feel like doing it. I'm not in the right frame of mind. You know, I'm channeling. So I have to be clear. I've got to be, my diet has to be clean. I can't, you know, I can't drink alcohol. I can't do any mood or mind altering. I have to really be a vessel to receive these messages that I pass on to you guys. And So when you're being artistic, you are channeling the divine. You are connecting with a higher source, and you are really, you will fill that spiritual void that you're feeling right now if you get creative. Do something creative, you know, listen, I said the other day, I've always said I can't draw. I can't draw, I'm terrible. I've got an aesthetic eye, but I just couldn't draw. And then a couple of months ago, I just started sketching and I was drawing really well. And I was like, where did this come from? I've been really enjoying it. You know, I feel that it's not me, I'm channeling this. And I think it's a wonderful time for us all. We're all getting these downloads. Look. Whenever I'm upset or I can't get out of a funk, I do something creative. Whatever it is, I do it because I know that when I'm doing that, my mind is calms and I'm focused, and I just really am in the moment more than anything else, more than any other time. So sorry about that. So the next card is the Five of Pentacles. I always say this is a card of, you know, deprivation, really feeling desperate, that you don't have enough. And look, there's this couple with a baby and they're right in front of this beautiful stained glass window, and they're just, well, they're not seeing, it has no meaning to them because they are so in deprivation. They're so focused on what they don't have, and they don't know how they're going to find their next meal. You know, they don't know what they're going to do. This card indicates that, look, abundance comes in many forms. So you really have to kind of, first of all, you can ask for help when this card comes up, you know, and don't be dissuaded if somebody says no, but you can ask for help if you're in that desperate place. But also, when you look around and you see the beauty, I know it's hard when you're in deprivation to look and see the beauty and see your cup as half full. I know that's difficult for a lot of people, but this card is coming up saying that help is coming. Don't worry about it. I mean, I don't want to say don't worry about it, but I want to say be hopeful. This is hope, darling. This is sometimes when we're in this funk, it's kind of an illusion. We're so focused and so desperate. Look, let me give you an example. Now, I have a pretty okay speaking voice. I'm a hypnotist. My voice is very important to me, and people are always saying, I love your voice, blah, blah, blah. Well, years and years ago, I didn't have a job. I must have been in between jobs. I think it was in the 80s, I think, or the early 90s. It was something like that. Maybe it was after I had my car. So I can't remember. But anyway, it was the early 90s. And I needed a job so desperately, single parent. You know, I had my son, and I was so desperate. I called up about this telemarketing job. And the guy said, read something. And I couldn't even, I was so desperate, and I couldn't even read a paragraph. I was jumping. The guy just said, thanks a lot, put the phone down. It's like, oh my God. And I remember thinking, wow, here I am, right? A white woman with an English accent, and I can't get a job, and I'm so desperate. What do these other people that don't have this advantage, how do they feel? Oh my goodness, what a horrible, it was just a horrible, it was a big lesson. And I remember taking a deep breath and listen, darling, God, a rejection is God's protection. I always say that. So sometimes, you know, things happen for a reason. Could you imagine all the horrible experience of being a telemarketer would have? It's constantly being rejected, constantly being shouted at, and the phone being put down on you. That was, you know, that was a blessing that I didn't get that. But it didn't feel like a blessing at the time. So I say all that to say that there are, when I know what that place of desperation feels like. I do know. I know what that feels like. I have been down and I've been up, you know, and I think that's why I appreciate when I'm up. I really appreciate what I have, because I've been, you know, I've been in low places. I've had very tough times in my life, and I got through it. I'm still here today, darling. That's why I say, you know, worry is a waste of energy. I have that personal experience. I can tell you that for sure. And and I have this on my refrigerator. Things are always okay, things are always okay in the end. And if they're not okay, it's not the end. And that was written by an unknown person. Brilliant. Okay, clarifying that is the 7 of air. Now, the 7 of air, okay, so in this instance, right, the 7 of air is about, this is about dancing to your own tune. This is about being independent and not being peer pressured and not, listen, you're unique and you have a lot to offer, and you don't be pressured by everyone else's opinion. You know, you live life on your terms, Virgo. That's what this is about. Now, this isn't about rejecting other people's opinions and just saying, I'm right, you know? Kathleen. But this is about like taking it in what people say and then like saying, well, yeah, right, but I really think that what I'm doing is okay, and love you, mean it, gotta go, you know. You don't have to take what they say and run with it. Don't do things, don't be a people pleaser, right? Don't be a people pleaser. You live life on your own terms, and don't be afraid of deprivation for making that choice. In your heart, you're going to know that it's right for you. And that's all that matters, right? All we have in life is our uniqueness. That's all we have that's different from everyone else, right? Authenticity. Be authentic. Be true to yourself and be true to your heart. You know what's right. Okay, Virgo. Now, I'm going to do a romance card. I'm just putting this on as an, you know, as a little kind of treat at the end. We're going to do romance for the single Virgos, and then we're going to pull a romance for the, oh, that didn't work out well, did it? Just learnt the bridge shuffle. And obviously didn't work with these cards very well. There you go. Yes, it did. Okay, so we're going to pull, we're going to shuffle for the single Virgos out there. Please, what message do the angel? Oh, wow. Well, 2 cards came out for you, for the single Virgo. It's interesting. It is safe for you to love. And it's open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So if you're thinking about someone, then this person, it's safe to love this person. You know, this is a good thing. And then look what we have. Wedding bells. This situation involves marriage. Listen, this could just, I feel that sometimes these cards are a little kind of literal, but I just feel that this, if some of you are considering someone, or you're going to meet someone, this possibly could be the one for you, single Virgos. Okay, so now let's pull a card for Virgos in relationships, in committed relationships. What wonderful messages do the romance angels have for Virgos in relationships? Wonderful messages. Oh, there it is. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents So this is about, you know, personal growth. It's about working on your own stuff, because when, you know, our scars and our family issues, we carry them into our relationships and we can destroy them, right? We can damage our relationships just because of our own damage, what we've experienced as children or, you know, teenagers, whatever it was. So this is about healing yourself. It's going inside and it's healing and releasing. And this is a perfect time because we've got this new moon coming up in Taurus. And let's get everything, let's release everything before this new moon, this beautiful new moon that's coming up on the 15th. All right, Virgo, now one more thing, okay? Let's take a deep breath in together through your nose. Hold it at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, and slowly exhale through your mouth. And think of a number between 0 and 999, including 0 and 99. It's the first number that comes to you. That's your personal message from the angels. So you write that in the comment below, and I will give you the meaning of that number, the angel meaning, the message, your personal message from the angels. Don't second guess it. Don't choose a number that you prefer. Allow a number to just appear. Virgo, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video, share it on your social media, of course comment and give me feedback. I read every comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week. To inquire about or purchase any of Mary's services, please email Mary at liveinthesolution.com.